Check, check. Check. Bum 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 bum. Let's go. What is going on, guys, and welcome to another live stream. Gotta mute my screen here because I can hear myself. Let me Go back here. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another live stream. In today's live stream, we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about? R&Rs, removals, replacements, how to do them, how to book them right so that you can make some money. We're also going to be doing some Q&A, of course, as always, and that's what we're going to be going for today. So stay tuned. It's all coming up. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another live stream. Patrick, as always, if this is your first time watching, this is Window Tinting Business. We do a weekly live stream here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about different particular topics, and then we kind of go over some Q&As. Always a good and fun part of the live stream. Sometimes I get a bunch of people in here. Sometimes we get a little bit of people in here. So it really just depends. If you're new to the live stream, new to the channel, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live as well. Something a little bit different for today. I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's live stream. Let me see here. And the sponsor for today's live stream is Soak Shield. Soak Shield is the window tinting industry's first and original absorbent rope used for absorbing water running down behind the dash of a vehicle when installing film, helping to protect the electronics and other parts from water damage. So again, Soak Shield, thanks very much. We definitely appreciate your support. And as always, you guys can go ahead and check them out as well. They have ropes and dash towels and a bunch of other cool things. So go ahead and check them out. We go here. And let's get back here to our section of the day, talking about R&Rs, removal and replacements. A quick side note, my coffee machine decided that it wants to work again now. Good news, because the brand new one was like a couple $100, and I just didn't. I mean, I will if I need to, but I didn't want to. So quick shout out, Julian. What's going on? Julian from the UK here every week. Definitely appreciate your support. Let's see, we got about 8 people here in the live stream, so that's always a good thing here. Always a good thing. So let's talk about R&Rs, removal and replacement. It's kind of like a, what do I say? How do I say it? Some people either love them or they hate them. So people are not on the fence. It's either one way or the other. People love doing them just because you can get a really good, you can get paid very well for it. But at the same time, some people think that it just takes up a little too much time, that they could be making better money or more money within that time frame. So we're going to be both discussing the pros and the cons of that, and also a little bit in regards to price structure, so that it's definitely beneficial for you. Let's see here. Definitely as a new tinter, you want to kind of stay away from R&Rs. Just because it takes a lot. You have to be able to clean very, very meticulously. Not only be able to remove the film, but remove all adhesive, and also getting behind any of the pillars, under the sweeps, back, and that's just the side windows. Once you get into a back window, you have to know how to sweat it, steam it, and worst case scenario, scrape it. And you have to be knowledgeable and be able to explain all this to the client before you take the job, so that they're fully aware of what's to happen. If you pick up someone's car and you happen to end up scraping the back window because there's no other way to remove it because it's 10 or 15 years old, and you don't tell that client, they're not going to be very happy when their defrosters don't work at the end of the day. Jaybird, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Oh yeah. Quick side note, I did forget, I did shave my head. I thought I had it last week, but yeah, I totally shaved. It was a clean shave just recently. It gets really hot in the shop, about 100 degrees, and I'm 34 years old, but sometimes I'm like a child. Sometimes, like my face, it's just gross. It's just, I like to keep it like fresh. If not, like I'll break out, and it's just a little too much, a little too detailed. But yeah. Jaybird, what's up, brother? What's up? Welcome to the chat, my friend. Welcome to the live stream. The stream, whatever. All right, so getting back to R&Rs. Now, some people love them because if you're a shop that isn't full, like booked out to max, then it's a great way to subsidize and bring in some additional income, because other established shops don't really like doing R&Rs, I'll be honest with you. But if you're a more seasoned shop that's been around for a while, during the busy season, it may not be beneficial to take R&Rs, just because that time could be better spent, tinting fresh cars or newer cars and making better money. So there's a better dollar per hour is the name of the game, and you want to maximize, because there's only so many hours in a day, and it's so many hours in the time that you have. So you want to be able to maximize the amount that you make, and that's the whole name of the game. Let's see here. So that's why some people love it and some people hate it. I'm very meticulous when it comes to removals. I mean, very, very meticulous. Like, once I'm done with an R&R, it looks brand new. And for that reason, I charge so much, because I don't like doing it. But if someone wants to do it, I'll give them the prices that I'll do them at. And if they want to shoot from there, that is great. But yeah. And then let me see here. I'm just going to switch over. Switch over to here. Oh, Julian with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much for the donation. Definitely appreciate that. If you guys don't know or aren't aware, super chat is a way that you can go help support the content on the channel. All proceeds do go to help the channel, of course, and as always, that's for Blades. I appreciate it. But yeah, thank you, Julian. Always kind. That's super awesome. Thank you again. Over there in the UK. Yeah, you know what? I just kind of no guard it. I don't like shave it. I've never actually taken a blade to it, but I'll take my trimmers without a guard or anything. It's just so much easier when you got to get up, and I could just get up, take a shower. I don't have to do my hair. I don't mind the longer hair, like during the holidays and stuff. This is like more like a summer cut. Like, after summer, I'll grow out the hair back out, just because I got people to see. I got events and different things of that nature. But yeah, pop and collar, Jaybird. I digress. Sorry about that. Going back to the R&Rs here. I like doing a particular payout when I do R&Rs, because it's not that bad when they're new and they're young, but the older it gets, the more dangerous it really is to do R&Rs, because so film gets old. The older it gets, the more brittle it is, the harder it is to take off. Therefore, you have to scrape back windows or do other things of that nature. Plus, the car itself starts to get old. So cars that get over 10 years old, I love to pull panels. But if a car is 10 plus years old, I don't pull a panel on that car, because the plastic gets so old and brittle that it's useless. It's going to fall apart and break apart on you. So you have to be very, very careful and aware of that. So the way I do it and the way I break it down, and I'm going to break it all out first, I'm going to explain why I do it. Okay, if a car is, and I go by the car's year, because I can't tell whether or not the film has been on there from rolling off the manufacturer floor, and it was tinted on site or shortly after, or not. So I always go off of the car, the year of the car. So if the car itself is 1 to 5 years old, I charge $150 for removal. So if you break that down, it's like $50 for the back window, $20 for the windows, the roll-ups, and then another $10 per quarter. So if you don't want to charge them for the quarters or something like that, you can do what you will. But $150, 1 to 5 years old. And 1 to 5 year film is going to be pretty straightforward. Sweat it off, scrape it off, but it's going to be pretty easy. You're not going to have to scrape the back window for that, typically, I say. Now, if it was some really, really cheap film, or poorly put on, maybe it has some bad adhesive, like if you're talking like dirt cheap film, then there's a possibility it can go that bad within 5 years, but most, like 99% of the time, you're going to be fine. Most likely just a little steamer, or you can sweat it off. The way I sweat my back windows, you can do that for the side windows as well. So $150 for that. Moving on to the next tier, it's going to be 6 years to 10 years old. The vehicle itself, again, if in that price range, I'm going to charge $300 for removal. Starting to get pretty steep here. And last tier is going to be the ultimate tier, 11 years plus. If that's a car, 11 years plus, it's going to be $450 just for removal. I'm talking about removal only. I'm not talking about quality of film or putting film back on. We haven't even talked price for that just yet. So those are my 3 prices and what I give in the age range of the vehicle. Why do I do this? I do this because, number one, I don't want to tint old cars. Tinting or retinting old cars. Removing somewhat newer cars, not a problem. The problem comes is when you're charging $100 or $120 or $150, but the car is 12 years old, and then you end up having to scrape every window and having to scrape the back window. Now a job that would have taken at least an hour or maybe an hour and a half is now going to take you 4 to 5, maybe. I've had cars doing R&Rs for up to 6-7 hours. So when you're getting paid only like $100 for a job that's going to take you 6-7 hours, it's a nightmare. And the whole time you're gritting your teeth, you hate it. You're thinking about how much money you could have been making tinting other cars. And you're a mess and you're sweaty. It's a nightmare. So I charge the way I charge. Why? Because most of the time for a car that's 11 plus years old, no one's going to be paying $450 to get their car just removed, the tint removed. Now, if they bite on it, then okay, I'll do that. That's a good 3 to 4 hours booked on my time. So that's good. That's a win for me. But I don't want to tell people no. I don't want to say, no, I don't want to tint your car. I'll never tell anyone no. But if it's god awful, or if it's something that I really don't want to do, I will charge so high that they're going to tell me no. I'm not going to tell them no. And that's the way to kind of do business. It better be like overpriced, because maybe they just can't afford me, but other people can afford me, things of that nature. And then I also tell people it's worth it for me to do it, because it's going to look like a brand new tint job versus other people that's going to have glue residue, trash, hairs, other little things that, like, it's going to look clean on me. And the good thing about charging that much, let's say they're on the second tier. Most likely you're never going to get anyone to pay $450. The goal is not to get people to pay $450. The goal is for the people to say no to you, so they go to someone else. Bring it on someone else. Bring it on down the road. Take it over to the $99 shop. Let them deal with it, because we're trying to make money and have a good time while we're doing it. Now, if they're within the second tier, 6 to 10 years old, and you see that the film is coming up, maybe it's some really gorgeous film, 8 years old, but it's maybe starting to bleach a little bit, or it wasn't color stable, so it's starting to fade, delaminatize, like anything like that. So if you're like taking it off and it's coming off like a breeze, then easy. Then you go to the client and you say, hey, this is I structure it at this rate. It was not as hard as I thought it would be. So I'm going to go ahead and cut you your break. I told you 300. I'm going to bring it down to 150. It makes it sound really cool for you, because you're not just giving it to them, and they're going to love it because they're expecting 300 and now they just saved $150. But you always have that cushion that you can take it back. But if you close the deal and you got to charge them more, they're most likely going to say no. The deal was a deal, continue on, and then you're just going to hate life. So you can always pull it back. It's like a haircut. You can always cut more off, but you can't put it back on. Kind of, yeah. Anyways. So that is the reason for the R&Rs and my price points on the R&Rs. And they can be beneficial. My rules on removal and replacements is that we don't book anything Friday, Saturday, especially in peak season. Anytime between... It's kind of hard to say, but typically peak, once people get their money back from taxes, between March 15th and April 15th, that's when basically the start of the season, when people start getting really busy. When between March and April, that's the start, until the end, right around October-ish, that's really the end of the busy season. So within that time frame, I typically don't do removals on Friday or Saturdays at all. Because even if I have openings within my schedule, and we schedule out, we don't just take walk-ins or whatnot. We will if our schedule will allow it, but most of the times Friday, Saturdays we're booked all the way through anyways. But if I'm not booked all the way, I can take walk-ins. It's hard to schedule an R&R because I don't know what kind of time frame we'd be looking at. And why spend 3 hours on one car getting paid one price when I could spend 3 hours on 2 cars and make double the time. I mean, double the money within that time frame. So that's one reason what I don't do. I do R&Rs, but I typically do them, you know, like throughout the weekday. On a slower day is when I'll typically do them Monday, Tuesdays. You know, maybe Wednesday, Thursdays, maybe depending on the schedule. But usually Monday, Tuesday is a little slow. Wednesday, Thursday is a little bit better. Friday, Saturdays is where you're going to really make your money. So you want to do the R&Rs on that Monday or on that Tuesday is the best time, because most of the time you're not going to be booked up for the day, so you can take that car in. And another tip is when you're taking these cars in, what you want to do is you don't want to, let's say you have a 1 to 5 year car, you're charging the first rate, the 150, step one. And you're estimating about an hour for removal, another hour and a half to put it back on. So now you're at about 2.5 hours for an R&R. And this is if you're fast and if you're good. Now, within that 2 hours, what I don't want to do is I don't want to, that hour that I'm removing film, I don't want to just block out an hour. So I want to be able to drop off all the drop-offs in the morning, first thing in the morning. And I tell people for removals is drop it off in the morning. First thing, as soon as we open, drop it off, take the keys and go. Don't want to sit and stay because you're going to be here all day long. And I'll call you at the end of the day when it's done. That way I can sweat the car, I can work on the car, but I can put it to the side, and while that's out there sweating for 20 minutes or so, I can work on a different car, maybe cut the pattern, start laying the film on that car, and then jump back, peel the film off, good, sweat the other side, or maybe rotate the car if I needed to sweat the other half. So you can work on it periodically as you're doing other things and you're stacking it. If I put a 2.5 hour time frame for an hour or so that I'm removing the film, like maybe there's about a 20, 25 minute, 30 minute time frame where I'm just sitting and waiting because it's sitting out in the sun. So it's about a good allocation of your time, and that's the most important thing as well, spending your time wisely. But yeah, let me see. We talked about R&Rs, the goods, the pros, the cons, when to do them, how much I charge. I would suggest you do it too, because you need to get paid, brother. You need to get paid. And then what days to do them, drop them off in the morning, and and just it's about realistic expectations as well. So you have to tell the client everything that's possible. I always tell, I don't care if it's a year old or 15 years old, I always tell people that the possibility of your defrosters getting destroyed is always there. You don't even have to scrape it. I've pulled film off and it comes off, but when you're pulling it off, it takes the defrosters with it. It is what it is. It's not perfect. People want to complain about adhesive. It's too strong. If it's too strong, it pulls off the adhesive. If it's not strong enough, it doesn't stay on the glass. So it's kind of like a catch-22. No one's perfect, and no product's going to be perfect. So you just want to let people know. If it doesn't happen, you're good. But if it does happen, at least the client knows and is aware of the potential or possibilities that could occur. Because the last thing you want is to have, not tell them that it does happen. Then now you have to replace the back glass. There's no bueno, because then now you want to minimize damages, especially when you're doing auto. Flat glass is a little bit different story because you're making so much money. Typical flat glass jobs in the hundreds of square foot. If you break one glass, costs you $100, but if you're making $4,000 on the job, no problem. But if you're tinting a car for, let's say, a mid-grade film at around $250, $300, and you break a door panel, or you break here's a good example. I know for a fact an Audi trim, just the trim, the 2-inch by 6-inch trim is $100. And if that's if you don't take it to Audi and they replace the panel for another $300. So like a $400 job or $500 job, or it's going to cost you that much to replace it, but you only made like $150 or $250 or $300 on it. So it's almost a break even or less. So what you make and the potential for risk and damage to a vehicle is very close in auto. In flat glass, if you break one glass, it's okay. You're making a lot more money. So just be careful, be aware, and let people know. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. I hope that was obviously beneficial. Let's go ahead and move it over here to the Q&A section of the day. Bam, just like that. Let's go run through some Q&A here. Let me move my screen here. Hold on. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Mitchell says, one, look at the head on that one, Daddy. What's going on? Julian in the house. Alex, what is going on? Again, another special shout out to Julian. Thanks again for the super chat. Really appreciate the donation here. And let's see here. Frank Escobedo. Okay, let's see some questions. Now's the time for questions, by the way. If you didn't catch on. Jaybird in the mother house. What up? What up, Jaybird? Alex Towers TV. Hey, Patrick. What's going on, brother? What's going on? If you guys couldn't tell, I shaved my head recently. We already talked about that. Ooh, I'm going to jack this name up. You? Question was, what's the typical price to remove tint that has not bubbled yet or turned purple? Like I said, 3 tiers I use, 1 to 5 years old. I'm going to charge $150 for removal. That's all the sides and the back. If you want to break it down, it's $50 for the back window, $20 for each roll up, plus $10 for each quarter. Makes it $150. And I double the price and then triple the price. When I go 6 to 10 years old, then I go to $300, and when I go 11 plus years, I go $400, or $450, excuse me. So that is my price range, and that's what I break people down on. Jaybird, that's right, baby. No hair in the tint. When I'm shaving my head, no hair in the tint. Also, too, my face gets, like, I'll start to really sweat because it's 110 degrees in the shop during the summer. We have no AC, and I'm in a metal box. So I literally, if I'm like Frankensteining a window in, like, I'll get sweat down in my eyes, and then I'm virtually blind until I set that film. So I've learned. Don't forget the smell. Yes. Smell on the adhesive. Whew. It's no bueno. It's no bueno. I feel you 7 hours. Yeah, we all been there. Jaybird talking about I feel you for the 7 hours. Yeah. It is not fun to take a car in, and it ends up taking all day long. It's not fun. Not fun at all. When you could be making so much minimum. Like, let's say, okay, so I can tint about 4 to 5 cars a day. But let's say on the low end, I go 4 cars a day, right? And I do just like the entry level film, $200 for a car, plus glare strip is $200. At very minimum, I'm going to be making $800. You know, and at very maximum, like we sell Stratus for $500 on a sedan, same car, $500. Times that by 4, that's $2,000. You know, so between $800 and $2,000 if I fill my day, and that's working on 4 different cars. Or do I want to work on one car for like $250? No. That's just my opinion on that one, fellers. Trying to get y'all paid. Let you all paid. I get into these conversations with tinters. They're like, oh, why don't you just do it for $60? No. My time in my life is already busy enough. You know, with side work and stuff like that. I do side work. My bosses know. But I don't take every gig that comes across my feet. I typically do a lot of ceramic jobs. But I'm not taking a gig for less than $180. No chance. You know, some people ask, oh, can you do this? No. The reason why is because I already spend 6 days a week at a shop, 8 hours a day. Sundays are my only free days. I got to try to squeeze in family time, these live streams, you know, goofing around online with other tint forums, with the other knuckleheads out there. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You know, trying to do YouTube, being a father, you know, there's just a lot. My time is very scarce. My time is very valuable to me. So if you're going to take up my time, I'm going to be compensated for it. And if you're not willing to do that, then I'm just not going to do it. Not going to do it. It's not worth it. And you guys should know what is worth it for you. What is your minimum? What is it? How low are you willing to get paid to do it? And you should always keep that in mind and never go below it. Never break yourself. Okay? The people got to respect you. You got to respect your client, but your client has to respect you as well. They can't just be kicking you around. If they're low ballers, if they're just grinding out like first 5 seconds, they're like, oh yeah, I do it for $3. And you're like, no thanks. Send them off somewhere else. Save the hassle. Let's see here. Julian got a question. Patrick, what makes the film to crease? What makes the film to be destroyed? Too much heat, but I'm asking chemical. Ooh, Julian, I don't know what you're asking me. What can destroy a film chemically wise? I think that's the question you're asking. What can destroy a film? What chemicals can destroy a film? And some people might ask me, why would you use chemicals on your glass? Well, not thinking about it, people cleaning their glass could destroy the film. We always tell people to use a can of, let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. Let's switch over here. Let me see if I can find. Let's go share screen share. Bam. Let's type in Google. Google.com. Before we leave, again, don't forget our sponsor for tonight's live stream, soakshield.com. Go ahead and check them out. They're phenomenal. Google.com. Let's go and, no thanks. Let's go ahead and check out Tint Safe Window Cleaner. Boom. Okay, so this one is a very good one. Let's see. This glass cleaner, very good. Very good. Let's go on to some other ones. This is the one we use at the shop, and this one literally says Tint Safe on it. Let's see, where'd it go? Tint Safe. So what you want to do is you want to get a cleaner that says Tint Safe or ammonia free. Those are going to be the two key terms that you're going to be looking for when you're talking about chemicals and cleaners. Something like Windex would be a big fat no-no. Why is that? For you guys that don't know, get a pen and paper, write this stuff down. I just saved you a lot of time, a lot of money on your insurance here. It is because ammonia is in that type of cleaner, and ammonia will break down the scratch-resistant coating. When you break down the scratch-resistant coating, typically you void the warranty. It's going to make the glass like really fuzzy, and if you scratch it with your nails, it'll literally like flake off the scratch resistant coating. So that's a good thing too, that if you have people coming in asking to do R&Rs under warranty and you see that it's hazy and it's literally falling apart and it's only been a year or two, that doesn't make any sense, right? So you got to read the writings on the wall. When that happens, you can tell people, especially if your film manufacturer doesn't cover labor and film, you don't want to be stuck with that. But yeah, that is a big saver. Make sure to tell your people that too. Plus, if you carry cans, if you carry the cans of it, let's say that last can that said Tint Safe on it, it's about $2.50. You could turn it around and sell for $6 a can. Make a little bit of profit that way also. Just a little tip for you. Opening the door. I really need to get a fan or something like that, or I don't know what I need to get. These LED lights are good. They're bulbs though, and they get really, really hot. And I kind of look washed out too. I just noticed that. I'm more tan than this, I swear to you. But yeah, I was thinking about getting like maybe LED panels. They don't emit so much heat. It's warm. All right, let's keep going on with the questions. Efren Mendoza question here: heat guns versus torch for shrinking back windows. Any benefits using a torch instead of a heat gun? Though really one benefit is that you don't need power with a blowtorch. With a heat gun, obviously you're going to need power because you need to plug it in. So you're going to need to plug it into a wall or a generator of any kind. The torch, you don't need it. You can literally tint a car in a room with nothing else in it. The drawbacks on blowtorches is that it typically takes a while to get used to it. It's going to take you a few back windows to kind of get used to it. It's like any heat source. You can't have the heat too close or too far, and you got to keep the heat moving. But you're going to have to pay for the tanks. The tanks don't last forever. They last a while, but they don't last forever. So you're going to have to pay there. Plus, if you touch that torch, it's worse than a heat gun. A heat gun, if you touch a heat gun at full heat, it's gonna take skin off. It ain't gonna burn you. It's gonna stick to you. Even worse with a blowtorch. So it's just something you have to be really, really, really careful with, guys. And that's a serious note. Really, really be safe and be careful. We don't want injury. We want to avoid injury at all costs, of course. Good question. Good question. $140 for removal and install on a new and install new tint on a 2006 Honda Civic. Is it a good deal or no? That is a very relative question. $140 to you might sound great, but $140 to me may not sound great, and vice versa. If you're asking me personally, I would never do that for $140. I would just remove it for $150, so I charge $10 more. Plus, I would turn around and charge them about $180 for my entry-level film. And what is that? $150 plus $180. That's $330. You know, on a good day, maybe I'm feeling generous. I'll do it for $300. That's it. That's it. And that's on a one. That's 1 to 5 years. 2006. Nope. 300 now for that bad boy. 300. 2006. Now it's 2008. So what's that? 8 years. That puts me up to the second tier. At that point, I'm not trying to get that. I'm not wanting to do that. So if they're willing to pay the 300 plus the 180 on that 480 out the door, I'll do that. If they don't want to pay that, I'm out. Frank, I hope that answered your question, my friend. Yeah, cheap. Wow, Jaybird's on there with me. CEO says, should I go tint school or learn on YouTube? CEO, whatever you want, brother. Whatever you want. I'll be honest with you. A tint school, and I'm going to give you my input. What did I do? I learned 100% on YouTube. 100%. The people that taught me was Matt over at Tint Stuff and Ralph over at his channel as well when he was actually training people. But I absorbed a lot of information. If you're good at that, some people people learn at different rates and different angles and different ways. You know, some people can read and boom. Some people can't read and they just watch a video and boom. Some people need to physically do it to understand it. So it really just depends on your learning style and how you can benefit and maximize the absorbing of the knowledge. So that's my knowledge on that one. We got 18 people in the chat. I mean, in the live stream. What's going on, y'all? Welcome. Yeah, sorry, I get a little distracted there. So that is my answer for that one. Should you go to tint school? My answer is, if you can afford it, you should definitely go to a tint school. A tint school is going to give you a great foundation on which to build upon. If you know nothing about tint and you want to get into this business, obviously learning how to do that is the very first step. In 3 days, in 5 days, are you going to learn how to tint a window and be a pro and go out there and make $200,000 a year? Absolutely not. So I want you guys to have realistic expectations. That's not going to happen. It probably took me a good 100 to 500 cars before I really got shrinking down. And I was doing that every day, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars a day. As many as I can. I was working at a shop where I had 2 tinters, so I was just on back windows, shrink. So there is a learning curve. You know, you got to give yourself time to be successful and accomplish success within this industry. If you can nail down how to tint, you're going to make a buttload of money. That's what the whole point of this channel, y'all. This industry really changed my life. So if you can afford to go to tint school, I would go for it. What is a good price on tint school? The average cost for a tint school is going to be anywhere between $400 and $500 a day. So it's not cheap, but it's going to give you a great foundation. You build on that foundation. You learn and absorb as much as you can. You network with the different people that are in your class and try to get some one-on-one talking and, some references and some help after the class. And I do training as well. If you guys are interested in wanting to talk about training, most of the time I had to travel to a shop to help train like a whole crew. If like a detail shop wanted to train their guys on window film and add that service to them, I would go ahead and do that. But now that I actually have a shop here, I can train about 2 people comfortably in my shop here at my place. And if I grew to probably 4 people, I'd take it over to the shop that I work at. And if it was about 8 people, I'd bring my boy Matt in from Tint Stuff, and him and I would train a class together. 4 people per instructor. That way you guys get a lot of one-on-one, plenty of individual time, some learning, some questions, some answers, and some physical time for you to actually do all this stuff. And I would probably, I'll be honest with you, I'd probably be around $1,500 for 4 days. You know, I want to be able to give a little bit more value, but the good thing is too is that you'd be able to network with me, you'd be able to network with my friends and and other people that I know in the industry, and I always be there to help you afterwards. Kind of like Q&As afterwards. I'd probably set something up like that, so you can always get a hold of me afterwards if you get into a pinch. But yeah, if you guys are interested in training, then go ahead and you can email me at windowtintingbusiness@gmail.com. windowtintingbusiness@gmail.com is where it's at. Subject line training. Feel free to hit me up there. We'll talk about it for sure. We'll get something set up. Jaybird asks, how do you wash and dry your microfiber towels for low lint? First of all, you got to buy low lint microfiber towels. There's a number of different places that I've bought my microfiber towels, and I've been very pleasant. I bought a pack from, I think it's the Kirkland brand from Costco. They're bright yellow. I also bought a pack from Advanced Auto Parts. No, AutoZone. And they had like multicolors with the finished edges. Those were a little bit more. I think those were $20 for a pack of 20 or a pack of 30. And then you can go to Walmart and get a pack of 30 for like $12 or $13. Each one has been very good to me. They don't last forever. I only wash my microfiber towels by themselves, nothing else. And if I'm doing like an R&R, I typically like to grab paper towels and clean up with that. I don't want to use my rags, but if I have to use a rag and it's a particularly dirty job, I just throw that rag away. I don't keep it and try to lengthen the time of it, because I'm not going to try to sit there and pick out pieces of tint and lint and whatnot. So those are my things, and I just put them on heavy and wash them, brother. Just wash them. Just keep them by yourself. That way nothing bad happens to it. Nothing bad happens to the towels as well. If you guys are just joining us, again, my name is Patrick. This is Window Tinting Business, our Tuesday night live stream. We're streaming every week, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We discuss different topics and subjects and go over different things, and we talk a little bit about Q&A as well. Q&A is very popular on this channel. If you're new to the channel, take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Bottom right-hand corner. There is a blue box. You can go ahead and hit the subscribe button and be a part of the channel here. Also, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified for whenever I upload videos or whenever I go live. Lastly, as well, make sure to check out us at Facebook and Facebook groups over at Window Tinting Business. Also, you can go ahead and talk. We got a really good community. We're getting about to 3,000 different tinters. New, old, vets, young, nice. Everyone's really cool in that group. Really, people are really trying to help. A lot of other groups they're just toxic. You know what I mean? You can't really help. And if you're a greenhorn asking questions, these hotshot vets just want to chew you up and spit you out. Not in this group, because I personally manage all the groups and personally approve everything that goes on it. So when I see negative Nancy's, I boot them. You're nice or you get the boot. So don't be mean and you won't get the boot in that group. Do you air dry your microfiber towels? No, I don't air dry them. I just throw them in the dryer on high and let them bad boys finish up. The Purple Platypus Podcast asks, irrelevant of the video, but my question is, how do you cut your template on a truck that has a toolbox in the bed of the vehicle that's close to the rear big glass? So how do you do that? One way you can do is you can take a liner, a spare liner, maybe from an old tint job, especially if you're hand cutting, and you can put it on the glass there, use a Sharpie to outline it, and then cut the outline and use that liner as a template onto the film. And that's really the only way. Eventually what you want to do is that you don't want to be a hand cutter the rest of your life. It's good to know how to hand cut. It's great to hand cut. And I know some really great and very efficient hand cutters. But I don't know. In my personal opinion, I think it's faster and better to do. You can crank out when you have volume and you need to do more cars. It's more cost effective to buy a plotter and speed up your time that way than hiring someone else that costs you money. A small investment will make a lot more with a plotter versus someone else. And then when you get really busy, then you just hire other people. But if you're not a plotter and you're just a hand cutter, one of the best ways, like I said, is just to take an old liner that you have. That's why you save some of the older liners, like from the windshields or from the back windows, some bigger ones, and just keep them on hand for situations like that. And if there's a big gate in the way and you can't even get to the back glass to line it out, go on the inside, do the same thing. Spray the glass, put the liner on, like squeegee it down in just the liner, and take a Sharpie, a black or a silver. Silver is probably the best because you can actually see it, and then just outline the film. Maybe a little bit bigger if there's a matrix there, but if there's no dot matrix and it's just straight rubber, you want to get to it as close as you can. That's the way I would do it, my friend. Jaybird, wish I had a plotter. Yep. Jaybird, if you're doing decent on the business side, some manufacturers will send that bad boy over to you, a leasing program, other different things. You really want to do, when you think about plotters, it's not I want to have one right away. It has to be cost effective. So if you have a plotter and you're leasing it, the plotter is going to cost you X amount. The software is going to cost you X amount. Blades, Teflon strips. These are all going to be, costs. So as long as the plotter is going to make you money. If you have cars coming in, let's say you can only do 3 to 4 cars a day. Let's say a plotter, boosts your production by 50%. And now instead of 3 to 4 cars a day, you're doing 6 to 7 cars a day. Now at that point, as long as you can book your time, then the plotter is worth the cost of it. So it has to be an investment. You got to think of it as an investment, not just because you want it, because you're going to pay for it. You know what I mean? If you're going to pay for it, it needs to be making you money. Invest in things that make you money. Don't invest in things that depreciate or rot. Always, always. That's from, who the heck's that from? Ty Lopez. Tint stuff in the house. Tint stuff. Yeah, my coffee maker started working again. By the way, I had a bright green shirt on, and when I first started the live stream, I was just a floating head, so I had to change my shirt. It was kind of the same color as this hat, the Sunbelt hat. There is a backing, but you see how it kind of disappears in the right light? Yeah, that was my whole shirt. Tint stuff. What's up, brother? Starbucks. I can't afford Starbucks. I have 2 kids and a stay-at-home old lady. No. Even though I'm like, I would say I'm very good at what I do, life's expensive. Tint stuff. I'm on a Starbucks Italian dark roast right now. Stop talking, y'all. It's making. I need a Starbucks now. Jaybird, Matt. Real food, real good. White chocolate mocha. Everyone in the chat's talking about coffee. Julian, remembering the trash alarm. I actually deactivated my trash alarm on Tuesdays. That's how much Julian watches this live stream. He knows at 7:30 my alarm goes off almost every time for the trash, because my trash has to go out my door, which is hilarious. You're awesome. Let's see here. On 2 hours, okay, Real Food, Real Good asked the question, when you say 2 hours per car, is that the time frame? Is that the hand cut or plot or computer? Okay, so if I'm going to hand cut a car, let's say I have a gig, a side job in my garage, my personal garage that I'm doing on my personal side gig, that's me hand cutting. If that's the case, it's going to be 1.5 hours to 2 hours for that particular install. For a standard 4-door, and that will vary depending on the cars and how difficult and stuff, because I'm hand cutting. Now if I take the same car, and that's taking the car, getting all the information, tinting the car, cleaning the car, getting the car out, putting the proper stickers, informing the client, closing out the gig, moving on. Thank you, ma'am. That is the time frame I'm talking about. Now, if I took that same car, but I had a plotter instead, that job can be done in 1 hour and 15 minutes for me. And that's not going to be everyone. So it's going to shave off having a plotter shaves off about 45 minutes, almost guaranteed per job for me. So that's where that time frame came from. Also, too, and another thing, too, about training, funny that Matt and I were talking about this, is that if you guys are thinking about training, or if you've been in the industry for a while, but you're a 3 to 4 to 5 hour, and that's not uncommon, if you're a 3 to 4 to 5 hour tinter per car, and you're looking to get your time down to an hour and a half to 2 hours, we can do that as well. That's going to be an awesome training course as well. It's going to be separate. It's not going to be like a one-on-one course, but a 102 course, so like the people in the 101 course, and we're not going to have the same course. So if you're looking to speed up your time, looking for efficiency, double cutting, double snapping, shrinking quickly, doing the fast stuff, doing all the goods, and learning how to get your time down and shave down so you can make more money, that's what we can do as well. And that's another training option as well. And that's what, because people need it out there. Because if you can take your time and you go from 4 hours down to an hour and a half, I just tripled your business, my friend. You're welcome. You send a royalty check. I'm just kidding. But I hope you kind of get what I mean. Do you have customers wait on their vehicles, or do you have them drop it off or pick it up later? Happy124 asks, do you have customers wait on their vehicles, or do you just drop them off and pick them up later? When you're first learning, you want them to drop it off, and you want to overshoot an hour or two. Dead serious. Because that way you have plenty of time, you're not stressing out, and you're not stressing out about the time as well. You want to get relaxed. You want to do the job and do the job right. And at first, it's going to take you a long time. Repetition. And the more you tint that car, the more windows you shrink, the more windows you install, you're going to get a little faster and 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 a little faster. And then boom, an hour, 500 to 1,000 cars later, or I don't know, some people are quicker. You start learning that your time goes quicker and quicker and quicker. So you have to put that grind in, baby. You got to get that grind in. Yes. Oh, Matt says should do a floating head stream for Halloween with the green t-shirt. That's awesome. Maybe I do a stream. That's what I should do. Some Memorial Day stuff. I should have had like an American flag or something like that. Maybe something in the background. Great idea. Does all stream, CEO asked, does all tint have UV protection, or is that a separate film? Yes, all films have 99.9 UVA and UVB protection. So that's a standard across the board. And if it doesn't, stop shopping from eBay. All right, let's check out what we got here. We've been streaming, how long have we been streaming for? Streaming for just shy of an hour. Got 14 people in the live stream. What's up, everybody? Welcome. 1,000 welcomes. Blue box in the corner. Let me see. I'm trying to point at it. I think it's this way because I'm looking at the. I'm looking at my myself. Nope, not wrong. The wrong way. It's this way. Definitely. Blue box in the corner. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to join the crew. All right, a couple more questions, guys. Let's crank out those questions. We got a little bit more time before I go ahead and close it out for the week. Next time I won't be back for another week. Yeah, I won't be back until next Tuesday. What is next Tuesday? It's the 29th today, the 5th of June. Wow, it's June already? The year's halfway done? 102 idea is good. Real food, real good. Yeah. Go ahead and email me. Like I said, 102 idea. If you guys are 3 to 4 to 5 hour tinters and you want to get down to an hour and a half to 2 hours, let me know. We're going to go ahead and get a training class together for that. I'll probably try to localize it depending on where we're at, but I'll try to localize it as close to where everyone is, so we can get that together. But yeah, we can get you down. You for sure. windowtintingbusiness@gmail.com. Spell it out all the way. windowtintingbusiness@gmail.com. Email me for that 102 class, 101 class, some training as well. So let me know that. Oh, we got some more people here. What is a question? Xbox boy. Oh, have a question. What is a question? Ask a question, brother. You don't have to ask me if you want to ask. Just ask it, brother. I'll answer it. Jeff H asks, hi again. Express Window Films, what do you think? I think from the grapevine that they are a Reebok's global brand. And I hear good things about global. Can't be that bad. But also, you know, I've heard of other things. But yeah, that's what I heard. That's just through the grapevine. So don't quote me on that. But I think they're Express Window Films, I believe, are authorized global dealers as well. But if they can't sell you global because of conflict, you know, with other shops and location of the shops, they can sell you a comparable film through Express Window Films as well. And if you guys want to do that, yeah, you can go ahead and definitely check them out. Definitely check them out. Julian here. Patrick, if you want, I can offer a free week vacation in UK. Just make me a pro. Julian, a week in the UK? I would love a week in the UK. You know what? Do me a favor, Julian. You get me a vacation in the UK, and you get me a shop, and get all your tint friends, and you know we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen for sure. Heck, if we get enough. Now we gotta get paid. Some students here, but you can make it 8, and then heck, I'll bring my boy Matt over there into the UK. We'll both do it. But all jokes aside, you seem pretty awesome. I definitely, if you hooked it up, I wouldn't charge you for the class at all, for sure. You know, just get 7 other people that will pay for the class. We'll definitely make it happen. Xbox Boy says, what cars do you have? Well, I have a 2012 Kia Rio. It's very nice. It's starting to get old. Very small, especially when you have 2 kids. Stay-at-home lady as well. So we're fixing to getting a new car. I don't know. I'm thinking about getting a Tahoe. I like Tahoes. They're wide. I like some space. That one car I have is just too cramped. Too cramped. I don't know if you guys see in the chat. Let me see if I can point it right here. I wish I could highlight it. It says Matt, not from Tint Stuff. Oh, Matt, are you seeing this? That's hilarious. Oh my God, who are you? Because I know you know Matt, and I know you know me. I don't know who you are, but you're hilarious. Let's see. Any uses for plastic razor blades? Question. No, I don't use the razor blades, but some people do use the plastic razor blades on the glass for removing stickers and whatnot. I'm still trying to compose myself because that's hilarious. And backblading, I don't backblade. I don't backblade defroster lines. I haven't heard of that. I've heard backblading for like if you're shaving like top edges of like framed windows to shave it and kind of get the corners, like the little receded inside corners. But besides that, I haven't really heard much of people backblading defrosters because you destroy them. And the point is to not try to not destroy them. Xbox Boy says, do you like bikes? Like bicycles or like motorcycles? I like motorcycles. It's kind of goofy, but I'm like into like Honda Groms, like the 125s. But for like a weekend cruiser, I'd probably be more into like Harley Davidson Iron 883. Enough giddy up to get me going. Go 2 up, bring the lady with me. But not so much juice that I'll kill myself. I can still kill myself on a bike at 80 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. But just saying. On curvy windows, do you shrink top and bottom? I'm assuming you're talking about side windows, not the back window. You always shrink the top and the bottom on the back window. But yes, I've seen people do it 2 ways because like a Bug or a Corvette, they're really, really curvy. I just tack down the entire top and then bring all the fingers to the bottom and shrink. But I have seen other people shrink the top half and bottom half. But if you're going to do that route, you need to hand cut the entire glass out first. Set it. If you're going to shrink the bottom, go across the center. Set it so the bottom edge is above the windowsill like normal, and then shrink the bottom half. But then when you do the top half, you're going to have to lift everything back up and lay it back down so the film is not overlapping the glass. Because if here's the glass and the film is up over here and you try to shrink and you get too much heat on that edge that's not laying against the glass, that film is going to shrink and then now it's not going to fit. So you can do that, but you got to be very careful. Be careful, my friend. Be careful. So what film would you start with? Brand. Jeff H. asked that question. What brand would you start with? I'd say I hear really good things about Expel, and they're at a really great price point. I think they're color stable films. One of their, not, I don't think it's like their cheapest, I don't want to say cheapest, but most affordable ones, but they're mid-grade ones. So they're right at a decent price at like 59 cents a square foot. I haven't used them yet. I have some sample film that I'm really thinking hard about using them, but I hear they're really good. Johnson's is really good. Average price point's about 67 cents a square foot. That's going to be for their hybrid film. I like their Marathon film as their metallized dyed film versus the Renegade, which is a straight dyed film. I'd say those are two good ones. I did start with Max Pro, and when I first started, it was good. But the Max Pro, for me personally, I noticed that they just can't take the heat as well as these other films, and they're really susceptible to heat creasing and just melting on you, brother, melting on you. My suggestion is go with some of the ones that you hear good through the grapevine. You know, go check on online forums, check Facebook groups, ask them what films they're using, different things of that nature, and then call the manufacturer direct, ask them for a sample roll or two, and then they'll go ahead and work with it. They'll send you, usually it's either a 36 or a 40-inch roll by 10 to 15 feet. The most I've gotten actually was 25 feet, which was crazy. And I think that was Express Window Films, now that I think about it. Yeah, standards is like 36 inches by 10 feet. If the manufacturer wants to charge you for a sample roll, I wouldn't even try it. And don't waste your time and don't call Lumar asking for a sample roll, because they will literally laugh at you, because that's what they did to me when I called them so many years ago when I started. Xbox, I like the Suzuki GXR750. Xbox Boy, what's your favorite car brand? Anything that gets me to work. But I feel like Xbox Boy, I feel like you and I are getting really close right now. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. Let's see what we got. About 15 people still on the stream here. 8:10. Still got to take a shower. Still, I did eat dinner though. I'm trying to get on that Fortnite. Still obsessed. It's like one of the games that like I just want to lose my mind, because I'm not good at it, and there's so many people that play it, and so many good people play it, and some guys, and there's streamers out there there's a lot of streamers out there, and all they do is play games all day long. And then like little guys like me that are decently good at games that don't have time to spend 10 hours a day, like they just melt me. I get so frustrated. But if you guys do game, get me on that. I'm on PS4. Check your boy out over at Yellow Fever 805. That's my call sign. So Yellow Fever 805. Come play with me. Jaybird asks, how do you clean old back glass, steel wool or Dawn? A little bit of both. Depends on what's going on, how much dirt is in there. You want to get it as clean as you can. I mean, the cleaning process is really not that difficult. I usually stick with the white scrub pads, and I believe it's the blue Scotch Brite pads. The blue, I believe, is not non-scratch. I think the green ones will scratch glass. The blue ones, I believe, are non-scratch. And then if I really need to get aggressive with it, I'll use some steel wool, 000 or quad 0. I'd probably stick with around 000 steel wool for more aggressive cleaning. Clean that bad boy, squeegee it, see if it's clean enough. If it ain't, it's like shampoo. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. What drives me crazy the most about people's cars is that if it's disgusting in there, or if they have a dog. And I'm a huge dog person. I mean, I don't have a dog, but I wouldn't mind a dog. But when you get into a car and it's just disgusting, or there's like there's food and they clearly don't keep their car clean, which is fine. It is whatever. But I got to get in your car. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that, or like there's hair everywhere. And it's like, but those are the people that have the most disgusting cars or dirty cars, or maybe at least give it a rinse off. Like, I'm not asking you to get it detailed, but, you know, run it through the car wash so there's not dirt and crap all over it. And maybe clean up the trash, because I do have to get in there. But those type of people are always the ones that are like, oh, make sure you do a good job. Make sure it's 100%. Make sure it's perfect. And then you're like, whoa, listen, bro. Listen. Matt, not from Tint Stuff. God, he might be my favorite. Thanks for the prop. I'm still laughing about that. Matt, not from Tint Stuff. Thank you, appreciate it, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also check Matt out from Tint Stuff. Clearly, you know who he is, so subscribe to him as well. You're awesome. Greasy film on some mess things. How would you clean? I would use Dawn. No, not Dawn. Johnson & Johnson. I know what you're talking about. I would just use Johnson & Johnson because it is, or you know, you could use like something like Dawn too, because they have degreasers. Maybe rub it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, just to kind of get that grease off, get it clean, you know, get it off, and then try to stick the film. I think that will help you a little bit better, Jaybird. Can you guys hear the background music? I think it's fine. Global QDP or solar effects? I haven't used either, but if I'm gonna have to say global QDP, I've heard more things. I've heard more good things about that. Not that I've heard a lot of bad things about solar effects. I just haven't heard a lot. So I don't know if they're doing a lot of marketing or people just don't write about it. I don't know. Global QDP. Faux show. Faux show. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll start running the streams until my coffee's out. And then I'm like, out, I'm gone, y'all. Why am I not seeing this? I see it over here. There it is. What's weird, that it updated in my OBS software before I saw it on the actual chat. Jaybirds, flex film chargers for samples. Come on, Ralph. Who? The way they do it actually is they'll charge you for that, but then if you actually buy their film, then you get the whatever they charge you for the sample rolls, they get it discounted off of your first purchase. So it's kind of a way of getting free film, but it's kind of not. That's how I feel about that. Yeah. Greetings from the UK, Tom Salford. What is going on? I don't know if you know Julian, but Julian's from the UK as well. But let me see here. What's your opinion about Autobahn film? I've heard good things. They're really nice people. I've never actually had the chance. I know that they've been working on their PR and their presence within the industry to really start becoming a real good brand. And that's all I have to say, to be honest. I've never used Autobahn, but I did talk to the guys over at the booth last year at the Tint conference. Super nice guys, very nice guys. So I don't have anything bad to say about them. I've never really used their film. I apologize. Have you ever done a motorcycle front glass shield? No, I did not. Even if it was glass, which most of the time it's like plexiglass, but even if it was like actual glass, which I don't think it would be because it would break very easily, I would have to charge a lot for it anyways, and it's typically not enough for motorcyclists to pay for that. Julian, Tom's from the UK. Try to get that 102 or 101 class in the UK. Let's get going. I told you I need 4 people. I'll go. 8 people. Matt and I will show up. We're going to have to need flights, hotels, that whole number too. Rental cars. Do you guys drive on the left or the right side of the road? I can Google that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. We definitely appreciate you spending your time. Again, if you guys have any questions about training and stuff like that, windowtintingbusiness@gmail.com. Hit me up. Right. Oh, good. We drive in the right. We drive in the right. Yeah, we drive in the right too. We drive in the right. Yes, but again, this is Patrick, Window Tinting Business, not local. This is our weekly live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks again for all of you guys for showing up and asking all your questions. I hope you guys learned a little bit about R&Rs. I hope you learned some of these questions. Matt, not from Tint Stuff, you're the man. I hope I see you next week. Julian, of course, we'll see you next week. And again, thank you to our sponsor, Soak Shield, for sponsoring this live stream as well. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up this evening. Thank you again, guys, and we will see you next week. So until then, y'all take it easy. We'll talk soon.